In only 10 days, the attention of Jewish hoops fans across the country will focus on Memphis, Tennessee, and the 12th annual Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. 16 teams representing 10 states from across North America will come to Memphis seeking the prestigious national title. More than 75,000 viewers will tune in live and more than 1,000 spectators will be on hand. But who will emerge as the 2018 national champion? Will the New York Yeshiva League regain its championship swagger? Or will the boys from Cali return the title back home to the West Coast? Will the Windy City serve as this year's new home for the Invitational Trophy? Or might the warm winds of South Florida welcome the title home for the first time in its history? Or maybe even, might this be the year that the hometown Macs finally achieve their potential and bring the title back to Memphis? So many questions, so much excitement, and it all begins here. So pull up a chair, sit back and relax, because the 2018 Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament seeding show starts now.
Charging the lane, up over defenders, and in! What an amazing shot!
Welcome to the 12th annual Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament seeding show. Players, coaches, friends, and fans from across the country and around the globe are tuning in to see who has been named this year's #1 seed and how will the first round matchups shake out. So without any further delay, the 16th seed in the 12th annual Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament from Atlanta, Georgia, the Atlanta Jewish Academy Jaguars. Returning after a one-year absence from Cooper, the Jaguars return to this year's National Invitational led by new head coach Lamont Watkins and a young but dynamic squad. In fact, 8 of the 12 players on the Jaguars team are underclassmen. But what this team lacks in experience, they make up for in speed. The Jaguars plan to run, and will use their quickness on both the offensive and defensive ends of the court. While this year's Jaguars may be too young to make a deep run, they will no doubt be an exciting team to watch. This year's 15 seed from the city of brotherly love, the Kohelet Yeshiva High School Kings. The Kings come to Memphis on the heels of their 2017 Tier 4 championship at the Red Sarachek tournament. Led by first-year head coach Lenny Nicoletti, the Kings are a defensive-minded squad. Sophomore Isaac Melman and junior Noam Trudler lead the Kings' offense, while senior Amit Ben-Shoshan anchors the defensive presence. While the Kings lack size at almost every position, no player on the team stands taller than 6 feet. They play well together and utilize their speed. The Kings will certainly be fun to watch in the Tier 2 bracket. The number 14 seed in the 2018 Invitational, from Boca Raton, Florida, the Cats Yeshiva High School Storm. After several years of national prominence, The past 2 years have been rebuilding years for the Storm. New head coach Adam Lieberman has great confidence in this team and believes they will turn some heads at Cooper 18. The Storm brings great size to Memphis with 6'4" Adi Rosenstein, 6'2" Benny Matheson, and 6'2" David Kahane. But the team also has knockdown perimeter shooters in senior guard Brandon Munter and point guard A.B. Patesh, who can stretch the court and create driving lanes. The Storm find themselves in the middle of the Tier 2 pack, but with the right matchup, the Storm could find their way to the Tier 2 Final Four. This year's number 13 seed, from Livingston, New Jersey, the Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School Cobras. After a bit of a down year in 2017, the Cobras kick off the 2018 campaign with high ambitions. Third-year head coach Perry Bell's team is anchored by 6'5" senior center Gabe Plotzker. But the Cobras are deep at every position. This team has great experience with all upperclassmen, something that will be a real asset competing this early in the season. With great coaching and solid play, Kushner should not be overlooked by any opponent in the Tier 2 bracket. This year's number 12 seed, defending 2017 Tier 2 champions, from Davie, Florida, the Posnack Jewish Day School Rams. The 2017 Cooper Invitational Tier 2 champion, Posnack Rams, returned to Cooper 18 looking to defend their national title. They returned the majority of last year's team, including Tier 2 MVP Josh Schultz. But this year's team faces an uphill climb back to the title game, having lost national all-Jewish hoops honorable mention Joey Levy and the Rams' huge presence in the middle, 6'5" Bryce Daub. But the Rams are exceptionally coached by Keith Feit and will certainly bring the speed and skill for which they have become known. Posnack has to be a favorite to make the Tier 2 Final Four. The 2018 number 11 seed, from Deerfield, Illinois, the Rochelle Zell Jewish High School Tigers. Replacing first-team Jewish Hoops All-American Grant Primer is a nearly impossible task for any high school team, and this year's Tigers will be no different. But the depth of the Tigers and the incredible play of their all-star guard, Sammy Vangart, will keep them competitive in almost every game. The Tigers bring all sorts of size in their roster of 17 players, 12 of whom are well over 6 feet tall. The Tigers believe they can beat any team on any given night when they can dictate the pace of the game. And with the exceptional coaching of Marty Dello, they're probably right. While for a top-tier program like Rochelle Zell, this year might be a bit of a rebuilding year, any opponent who looks past the Tigers may find themselves riding home on the upset train. The Tigers are expected to be a real contender in the Tier 2 bracket. This year's number 10 seed, from West Hills, California, the D. Toledo High School Jaguars. The Jaguars seed in Cooper 18 may not fully represent the capacity of this year's team. D. Toledo is led by 6'3" senior superstar Liam Evanham, who competed this past summer in the Future Star All-Star game in Los Angeles. Add to Liam the Aiden boys, 5'10" Campbell Hall transfer Aiden Nussbaum, and lightning-quick 5'9" Aiden Waldman, and the Jaguars will not be an easy out for anyone. Coached once again by veteran Alvin Castro, look for D. Toledo to sneak into the Tier 2 championship, or maybe even make a Day 2 appearance in the Tier 1 bracket. Rounding out this year's anticipated Tier 2 bracket, with the number 9 seed from Rockville, Maryland, the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School Lions. The Lions return their Tier 2 semifinal team from 2017 much improved. Coach Dave McLeod has his boys working within his system and frenetic on both sides of the ball. Seniors Max Stravitz and Donnie Ofer have veteran experience at Cooper and will lead this year's Lions. Add the Twin Towers, 6'4" Jake Rolnick and 6'4" Ari Gershengorn, and the Lions have to be the favorite to take home the Tier 2 title. And now moving on to the Tier 1 bracket. At number 8, from Miami, Florida, the Sheikh Hillel Community Day School Lions. The Lions, led once again by Coach Craig Mankoff, returned 4 starters from last year's highly successful team, including 6'1" star guard Aaron Ben Mushel, who averaged 17 points per game as a junior and is looking to continue his prolific scoring in his senior campaign. But the Lions are far from one-dimensional. They bring 6'6" Samuel Taib and 6'2" high-flying dunker Daniel Abbo to Memphis as well. This year's Lions team finds itself in the Tier 1 bracket, but facing the most uphill of uphill battles to the national title game. But with Coach Mankoff and this level of talent, no one should be surprised if Hillel makes a surprise run through the Tier 1 bracket. Coming in at number 7, from Skokie, Illinois, the Fasman Yeshiva High School. Coach Jeremy Geller brings to Memphis what he considers to be one of the most talented teams in school history. What we know for certain is that Fasman is the biggest team in this year's event. Their starting 5 all stand over 6 feet, and they have size and depth at every position. Senior guard Akiva Lafer will lead the yeshiva, with stars Donnie Moretsky and Yaakov Mendelsberg contributing heavily as well. Fasman looks to avenge its Tier 2 showing in 2017 by making a deep Tier 1 run in this year's event. This year's number 6 seed, from Brooklyn, New York, the Yeshiva of Flatbush Falcons. The Falcons represent the biggest mystery in this year's field. They could have been a top 3 team or a Tier 2 competitor, and only time will tell. How will JV MVP Alan Sassoon transition to the speed of the varsity game? Can Eddie Linster play as a true big? Can Jack Catan run the point? And most of all, can All-Star Jack Razal play and play to his extraordinary capabilities? Razar has been sidelined for the past 2 years with injuries. If Coach Garat can put these talented pieces together, this is a very dangerous team that can absolutely go all the way to the national championship game. But if not, the Falcons may find themselves competing in the middle of the Tier 1 pack. One thing is for certain, keep an eye on the Falcons. They expect to be playing for the title on Championship Sunday. This year's number 5 seed, hometown favorites, the Cooper Yeshiva High School Maccabees. The hometown Macs return the core of their 2017 Tier 2 runner-up team, 1 year older, 1 year stronger, and vastly improved. The Macs have quite possibly 2 of the top 5 players in this year's tournament. 6'3" all-star sharpshooter Ethan Morris and 5'10" phenom guard Simcha Azdoba. Either of them can go for 30 on any given night, and when they are both on, this team is very hard to beat. Add to Morris and Azdoba the size and athleticism of 6'2" Nussi Orgel and 6' Ben Mendelsohn, and the Macs pose all sorts of matchup difficulties for opponents. Coach James Noakes has the Macs clicking on all cylinders after a busy summer league season, and expects the Macs to compete this year for the school's 2nd national championship. This year's number 4 seed from Los Angeles, California, the Milken Community High School Wildcats. After years of national prominence under the exceptional coaching of Mike Whiting, the Wildcats bring in Campbell Hall coach Thomas Blunt to lead Milken to a national championship. Coach Blunt is regarded as one of the top coaches in Los Angeles. But this year does not come without challenges. The Wildcats not only transitioned from Coach Whiting, but they also lost second-team Jewish Hoops All-American Amitai Effinger and third-team Jewish Hoops All-American Aaron Haruni to graduation. It would be completely understandable in 2018 if this was a rebuilding year for the Wildcats. But anyone who makes that assumption about Milken is in for a big surprise. The Wildcats are ready to play and intend to get back to this year's national championship game. Milken brings back several key pieces from last year's national runner-up team and several of the most talented players from Milken's outstanding 2017 JV team. The talent is more than there. The only question is whether Coach Blunt will have enough time to put all the pieces together. If he can, beware of the Wildcats. And now to the top 3. The number 3 seed in the 2018 Invitational from Lawrence, New York, the Rambam Mesivta Ravens. The Ravens return a team in 2018 that made it to the New York Yeshiva League quarterfinals as juniors. Now as seniors, the Ravens have their eyes set on nothing short of a league championship. But like every New York Yeshiva League team for the past 8 years, the road to that league championship starts here in Memphis. The Ravens have arguably the most prolific point guard in the entire New York metropolitan area in superstar Aaron Azos. But they also have one of the best big men in the league in 6'3" Ethan Aaron. It was this 1-2 punch of Azos and Aaron that took the Ravens to last year's quarterfinals. But in 2018, the Ravens added another all-star big man in 6'4" David Lichter, giving them 3 potent options. If the Ravens have any deficiencies at all, it's in their depth. The Ravens field a team of only 9 players, which could hurt them in more competitive games. But Coach Stephen Howard believes in this team and in their vast potential. The Ravens certainly have the talent to make a Final Four appearance at Cooper. This year's number 2 seed from Los Angeles, California, the Yeshiva University of Los Angeles, EULA Panthers. One of the most storied programs in Jewish high school basketball, the Panthers come to Memphis looking for their 4th national championship. EULA returns 4 starters from last year and 6 of their 7 core players. Led by all-stars Daniel Todiev, Joe Sassoon, Albert Fallis, and Noah Mizels, the Panthers look to retake their throne on top of the Jewish Hoops rankings. But what makes this team even more dangerous than the Panthers of the past are the new additions. 6'8" Eli Ibgui in the middle, and superstar underclassman Aryeh Hurd at the point. The addition of these 2 pieces give EULA arguably the best starting 6 in the nation. But like Milken, EULA is facing some significant changes. Jewish Hoops America legend Eli Hammy has handed the coaching reins over to Vince Oliver. Coach Oliver's style of play is very different than that of Coach Hammy and Coach Hammy's predecessor, Coach Dave Winnick. It remains to be seen how ready the Panthers will be operating in this new system come tip-off. But with a stellar coach and high-level talent at every position, we expect to see EULA playing for its 4th national championship on Sunday. And that brings us to the number 1 overall seed in the 2018 Cooper Yeshiva High School National Invitational Tournament. From Brooklyn, New York, the Magen David Yeshiva Warriors. The Warriors have to be considered this year's team to beat. And that won't be easy, considering they haven't lost a league game since 2016. Mag David returns a 2017 New York Yeshiva League Championship team that finished the season 17-0. There is no other way to put it. The Warriors are stacked. Led by guard sensation and Jewish Hoops America National Underclassman of the Year, Albert Nasiri, and silky smooth all-star Tico, Teddy Cohen, the Warriors guard play is as good as any in the field. But add to that Sixth Man of the Year Ray Jajati and 2017 Yeshiva League Championship MVP Michael Natkin, and you have high-level talent literally everywhere. Coach Ike Dweck believes that this could be the team to join the 2015 DRS Wildcats in achieving the illustrious Triple Crown of Jewish high school basketball, winning the Cooper Invitational, New York Yeshiva League, and Sarachek Championship all in the same year. There can be no doubt, Mag David is the team to beat in this year's tournament, and they should be playing for the title come Championship Sunday. With this year's seeding now released, the matchups are set. Log on to www.cooperinvitational.com to see the schedule of first day games. Also, make sure to enter your bracket in the 2018 Cooper Invitational National Bracket Challenge. On behalf of everyone in Memphis, we look forward to seeing you next week.